Welcome everyone, it's Unstoppable Stilezzi here with another Age of Empires 2 Diviv Edition Return of Rome casted match. Last time we did a team game, it was a 2 versus 2. Now we're going to enjoy a 1 versus 1 for the first time, so yeah, this should be a pretty good watching experience overall. Alrighty then, so today we got the Carthaginians, who are best known for their giant shipyards that they use to try to compete with the Roman Navy on a desert map. Yeah, so this is unfortunately all the water that we're giving Carthage here, you know. They're not going to be able to build giant navies to dominate the map this time, unfortunately. Yeah, but thankfully they got some other stuff in their tech tree that they can utilize to a great extent. They got tankier elephants and camel riders. They got, of course, the strong academy tech tree with the centurions. They also got the Heliopolis ballistas even. So good number of land units they can actually use in this matchup. However, the Carthaginians do have to face off against the literal chosen ones. And I do mean the chosen, otherwise known as the Koreans. And while the Chosen do carry on that same sort of stronger tower advantage that the Koreans do in AoE 2, they also have really good tanky swordsmen with extra HP. They got good cavalry, they got good ballistas, and they have good priests, you know. They get really good priests, so I mean, a bit of a varied selection of what these civs are good at, which should lead to a very interesting outcome overall. Yep. How far away did he go to get these elephants? Like, look at that. Look at how far away this villager literally went to get an elephant. Like, all the way up here. Yeah, what is going on? Well, in Return of Rome, we do not have scout cavalry that we start the game with. So, you literally need to take one villager and just run around the whole map and hope that you can find some food or something and hope that the RNG is on your side, you know. Thankfully for Popeye, he hit the mother load and got 2 elephants from the center of the map. You can't even make this up. That is a huge advantage. Huge advantage. You know, every elephant you get is like really good for your starting build order because guess what? These deer, or what they're called here, gazelles, painful to try to gather from, you know. You throw one javelin at them and they all start scattering in like 20 different directions, and it can be really hard to get good drop-off sites to handle them, you know. I mean, you can try to place your storage pit in such a way that you can sort of lane them in there, but that's not always feasible. It's usually better to see, hey, how many elephants can I actually get, you know. And all you have to do sort of to stop them from aggroing you is basically put the Vil in the TC that cause the provocation, and the elephants will just sit here like the peaceful giants that they usually are. Yeah. Yep, take out that elephant. Wow, yeah, I mean, he's going to be eating good for a while here with about 4 elephants. It's going to be a huge advantage overall. Yeah. So what's going on in Green's base? Did he get that many elephants? No. He decided he wanted to be a masochist and actually try to get these deer to behave. It looks like they did well for the most part, you know. The unfortunate thing with deer gathering in Return of Rome, you have to be real sloppy with the gathering, you know. It's pretty normal to leave a lot of your deer animals' carcasses rotting in the sun for a while before you actually get to them, and that's totally fine, you know. It's very sloppy overall. Yeah. Looks like blue is going up to the tool age, and I'm assuming, yep, it looks like green is as well here. Just check out the line of sight. Yep, looks like green sees this right now, and how about blue? Where's blue at? Blue, kind of similar to before. Alright, it's good to check the line of sight every now and then, see where the fog of war and black map is, just so you can see, alright, what sort of features on the map are there, and can the player be able to take advantage of that, both in terms of attack as well as being able to find some of the resources out further on the map here, like these gold mines and these stone mines. The good news is, though, in Return of Rome, nothing that you do in the Stone Age or the Tool Age actually costs gold at all, so you almost get to ignore gold altogether in the starting ages and not have to worry about that too much until the Bronze Age, really, when you get some of those units that start to cost gold, really, like the swordsmen, the cavalry, the camel rider, and so forth, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it definitely takes a bit of getting used to in Return of Rome in terms of figuring out, alright, what my macro has to be versus what I'm used to in AoE 2, basically. Because if you remember in AoE 2, you had sort of a whole logic, really, where you would either have to start a bit of gold mining at some point to age up properly to the Castle Age, or you would have to construct a market and trade some of your food or wood for the gold to get that working, basically. So definitely a very different experience for the most part, yeah. So what's going on here in terms of this clubman? Looks like the clubman is doing a bit of scouting there, yeah. Normally, when you're in Return of Rome, you're typically going to start out with some sort of clubman and then upgrade them to axemen, perhaps. But not always. You can also do bowmen in the Tool Age, you can do scout cavalry, or you can even do slingers. It all depends on what you're sort of going to expect there at the start of the match for the most part there. Got some scout cavalry here too, doing some scouting. Scout cavalry there doing some scouting. I'm assuming we're going to see a bit of an entanglement with the scout cavalry at some point in one of their bases, so we're going to have to watch that very closely for the most part. Setting up towers is always a good idea too, for just a little bit of defense and the ability to garrison. But you really want to base it off of where are most of my villagers going to be. Is it going to be near the tree line? Is it going to be near the gold area? Is it going to be near the stone area? For the most part, yeah. One thing you do need to remember, though, is the fact that you actually have to research the technology at the granary of all places to actually be able to get towers and walls, yeah. It's a bit strange, right? You'd expect a granary to just be a peaceful place where the farmers go to get, you know, your corn, your wheat, your pigs and cows or whatever. But no, in Return of Rome, these farms are also great for learning how to build towers and walls to defend your villagers from scout cavalry like that. You know, they're literally just trying to scout around and do as much. Ooh, they took one out. Look at that. This is why you have to be very observant in Return of Rome. It's very easy to lose villagers in this game. Really is, you know. In AoE 2, you got town centers that, when you garrison inside of them, they fire arrows at the nearby units. You don't get that in Return of Rome. So these villagers literally have to hope that there's either a tower nearby, or you can get enough military to basically destroy the scout cavalry. Yeah, that's why you see put a tower near the TC there to sort of offer that backup fire defense there. So yeah, now it's going to chase those scout cavalry off now. Some more scout cavalry join the fray as well. You can in fact zoom in a bit to see what happens here. I think blue should be able to win out on this one. Yep. He's going to try to fish him back in, though, and let the towers pepper him a bit, perhaps. And now you just have to chase that one off over there. Alright. Okay. Looks like Scout Cavalry's going to have to retreat now back to his area over there. Alright. Okay, let's go back to Blue's base and see what's going on here. Scott's Market, Goods, Storage Pit, Archery Range, Stable, Barracks. Basically got all the Tool Age buildings for the most part. Alright, so we're going to have to see here which side is able to perform the most raiding in this early stage of the Tool Age and how it translates later into the match. The more villagers you can typically take out, the better score it's going to lead to for you for the most part there. Scout Cavalry doing another raid. Will they get any kills there? I don't think they did. Yeah, these villagers in Return of Rome, they carry these big giant clubs that they're great at just defend themselves with, you know. If you recall in AoE 2, the villagers only had like these little daggers that they'd poke at their enemies. No, you gotta keep in mind that these villagers just an age ago were in the Stone Age, so they're basically fully fledged cavemen. So they got a lot of girth, they got a lot of strength, and they can carry big clubs over their heads and bash it over whatever sort of thing comes at them, whether it's a lion, a saber-toothed tiger, or a scout cavalry. Yeah. Another tower being set up near this berry site here. It's going to have to put down a granary there as well to not make it too risky going back to the town center. Alright, I'm assuming, yep, granary's going right there. Perfect. Yeah. researching more defensive upgrades at the granary. On this side, looks like it was the one to start building some wall here. Walling is really important in Return of Rome because of how easy it is to actually lose your villagers to raids, you know. I remember when I first started doing AoE 1 in Return of Rome, I would use the AFK trying to fight in the enemy's base, and I would already lose like my entire farming economy within a few seconds of just not focusing on. All they have to really do is just take a solid group of bowmen or axemen, and your entire economy and score can literally get wiped out. So you really need to be careful of how you handle your defenses in this game, and walling definitely helps out. Also towers do too, but they can be a bit costly in stone, so you do have to remember that as well. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, don't towers in Return of Rome only cost stone? Yeah, that's right. I just recalled that fact, actually. I haven't played Return of Rome often for a very long time, so these sort of details get a bit fogged in my brain. But I remember that now, like, oh yeah, towers actually only cost stone, so stone is like a really important resource for defense in Return of Rome compared to AoE 2, yeah. So we're up to the Bronze Age, it looks like. Yeah, that's going to be a huge advantage. What is he going to make in the Bronze Age, though? He's got a few options. I mean, he can either go Hoplite, I think, or he can go Camel Rider to get the best possible edge here, honestly. Camel Riders it is. Camel Riders it is. Perfect counter to the Scout Cavalry, you know. These Camel Riders are exactly like they are in Age of Empires 2. They counter cavalry really well with their multipliers, so really good unit overall. Look at this little sneaky raid here, this cheeky raid with these bowmen. This is the same sort of thing we run into in AoE 2 with crossbowmen. Same thing. Unfortunately for green, though, Popeye just happened to have the larger mass of the bowmen at the time, so was able to handle that really well. Looks like he's going to move out with the Camel Riders and the Bowmen and try to do some raiding here. It does look like green at least has the front of the base covered, but I'm wondering about the back of the base, you know. Has another tower here, so I mean, could be good, but you can never truly know, you know. In general, these Camel Riders move so quickly that they can often dodge the arrows that are being fired at them. At least as long as they keep their distance from the towers. Obviously, when they're this up close, the towers are going to get a pretty clean shot of them most of the time. So, yeah, that's something to definitely keep in mind there. Taking out another villager. Looks like... Oh, no, that's a... Is that a bowman? Yeah, that's a bowman. The villagers look a lot similar to a lot of the military units, like the clubmen and the bowmen, so it's kind of hard sometimes to discern what they are exactly. Yeah, fortunately. Alright, so these villagers were able to set up a nice wall here to keep the Camel Riders out, but unfortunately that does not protect you from bowmen. Yeah, if you're not careful sometimes, you can actually trap your villagers in a cage, so to speak, to their very deaths to these range units. Looks like the bowmen are already ravaging through the base and doing quite a bit of damage there right now. These Camel Riders are now upgraded with metalworking too, so they got a lot of damage on them right now. Yeah. Uh-oh, you're in trouble now, mister. Look at that. No towers in there. You're gonna pay for that one. Look at the whole gold economy just going up in smokes. That's what I'm telling you. If you're not careful in Return of Rome with your defenses, you can lose whole swaths of your economy. More villagers are falling too. This is even worse. If you get petrified of a loss in economy, Return of Rome is not your game, my friend. Get ready to lose villagers left and right, even when you're doing everything right. It's sort of like a philosophical thing on it, really. Now, blue's getting the most important technology in the game, which is, at least for me anyways, which is the wheel. And why is that? Not only is it like a wheelbarrow in AoE 2 and helps your villagers out quite a bit, but it also unlocks your chariots and your trade carts as well from the market. So, I mean, for me, I love spamming chariots. Sadly, none of these civs have chariots, so that's making me a little bit sad. You know, we're not going to see too many chariots today. What just happened to this Camel Rider? Oh, yeah, the priest just converted him. How convenient. How convenient. Yeah, Korea, we could call them Korea, but I'll call them the Chosen, their proper name, because they are the chosen ones after all. The Chosen get really good priests. If I recall correctly, their priests are actually cheaper than that of other civs. So, if you want to go for a priest spam, go for it with the Chosen. It will never disappoint, or at least until they start swarming units on the other side. Then it might disappoint a little bit. Yeah. Starting to get sentry towers are being upgraded, artisanship for the wood chopping, leather armor for infantry. One thing to keep in mind with these wood chopping upgrades is they also increase the range of your archery units too. So yeah, they're basically almost like a secondary fletching in a way, just without the damage improvement. For all the upgrades to range you get in Return of Rome for your archery, you do not get a lot for damage. There's literally like one technology, which I believe is alchemy, which actually improves the damage of your range units, but that's about it. The only other improvement you really get is just upgrading the units to stronger units, like from cav archer to heavy horse archer, from improved bowman to composite bowman, and so forth like that. Yeah. Picking up the aristocracy and the scale armor for infantry. Okay. What's going on over here? Getting polytheism, another upgrade for the priests. Yeah, the Chosen get all the technologies for the priests, so they're in really good shape for these sort of wololo type strategies. It really works well for them for the most part, yeah. So how much has green seen so far on the map? That much? And what about blue? Bluey has seen that. Is seeing that right now, so he doesn't even know about the priest coming in yet, but he's gonna find out though. Is doing hoplite, so a pretty massable unit if you have the food and gold for it. Also a really tanky unit too, but not great when you have priests, because yeah, they're just gonna start converting them like crazy, like that. I mean, what are you gonna do with this, man? Sort of the only thing you can do against that is just sending the hoplites in larger masses, for the most part, yeah. So these are still hoplites, right? At this point, Popeye has them upgraded to the phalangites, which is the second upgrade for them in the Iron Age, which looks like Popeye has already reached. Quite the dilemma, I would say, Okay. What's going on here? Is he going to get any more conversions, maybe? We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he gets any more conversions here. Camel Rider takes out Vil. Another Vil down. The loss of life is very heavy here. Phalangites is starting to get converted now, too. Okay, this could be actually really be scary indeed, because I was thinking for a while, hey, Centurions, which they'll eventually become with their final expensive upgrade, could totally become a real threat. But if you're starting to convert them all, that turns that advantage against the Carthaginians really well. He's already got a huge mass of these phalangites. Actually, he's got about 4 of them, and then a hoplite. Also starting to set up some towers to rush in as well and provide some cover fire. That's always good. Adding in some scout cavalry to try to counteract the priests. Good move on Carthaginian's part there. Scout cavalry. Yep, they get. There you go. All right. So what is Blue gonna do? Blue is gonna get more sentry towers, I think, just to set up a wall of arrows to prevent the priest from getting in too far. Which at this point, probably all you can do against this. Like. You can't do elephants because that's going to be a real meaty target for these priests to go after. You can't do the centurions because they're slow moving. So what do you do exactly with these priests? I mean, that's not much. You could literally, I don't know. That's a good question actually. What do you do against priests in Return of Rome when they're massed up like that? I know what you would do in AoE 2. You just go scout cavalry because they have a resistance to the conversion. Typically, or you could just spam some other trash unit like spearmen or halbs or skirms or whatever. So I don't know what you do here, Converting the villagers even? Even the villagers are not safe. Oh, did he just delete his villager? He's deleting his villagers so Green can't get them. Very cheeky move, actually, you know. Unfortunately, in Return of Rome, we do not have a technology like Heresy that lets your units die when they're converted, so you actually have to go out of your way to delete units that you think are going to get converted. Yeah, it definitely helps in Capture Age when we see these lines to know, alright, where are the units which units are being converted exactly with the targeting. Yeah, it's really helpful for us to identify there. The priests are getting overrun, man. I don't know. Looks like Phalangite is the way to go here. Also picking up the Iron Shield as well to improve their resistance to arrows from the towers. Good move, actually. But what's going on down here still? Priests still converting, massing in the Scout Cavalry to deal with that threat. Also taking out his own villagers that got converted there. Yep, there's a granary here too, so greed is going deep on the greed there for the resources. Is there any gold left? Yes, there's some gold here. Some gold over here. No, that's fruit. Just seeing where the leftover resources are on the map for the late game if it comes down to that. Yeah. Let's get a big view of this map. A big view of this map to see what's really going on. Oh, Phalangites are going into Green's base now, so he's trying to take the fight to him finally. I mean, is he going to be able to sneak these villagers into the base like that? Well, the towers are certainly going to hit them, so I don't know if that's going to go too well. What's going on here? Like, what happened to all the farms over here? Did the man forget about farming? Did he forget about agriculture? What's going on? It's probably all this fighting. It's basically stalled him at that point, yeah. It's like towers are continuing to bombard down on the attackers. Same thing on this side, basically. Siege workshops are being constructed here. Okay, yep. Basically, in Return of Rome, you have two sort of siege units. You got the catapult slash... Well, it starts out as a stone thrower, then you upgrade to the catapult and heavy catapult. And then you have the ballista line, which is basically your scorpion, for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, catapults and mangonels are somewhat similar. The big difference is the catapult shoots one projectile, whereas the mangonel in AoE2 shoots out like a string of multiple rocks out of a wide arc, basically. They both have friendly fire, so you do have to be careful of that. You really do. If you aim in the wrong spot, you can end up killing a bunch of really expensive units, in particular for Carthage, like their elephants or hoplites slash phalangites slash centurions, basically, yeah. Picking up another eco upgrade there, it looks like. That is the gold mining upgrade. What are these? So these are the converted phalangites, looks like. Doing more priests. Finally reaches the Iron Age. So what are we going to see here exactly? Is he just going to keep spamming priests, or is he going to add in swordsmen as well? You know, I think swordsmen, you need something to protect the priest with. You can't just go priest spam into infinity and beyond, because eventually what's going to happen is Carthage is just going to get so many of these phalangites that you're not going to be able to actually stop them with the conversion. There's just going to be way too many of them, basically. Again, alchemy, this is the only tech that actually improves your ranged units attack in the game. More priest upgrades for green, as well as coinage, which is another mining upgrade too. So really doubling down on the cheaper priests, it looks like. We'll see how far that gets him, really. Guard tower, so again, another upgrade on the towers again. Yep, Choson have all the tower upgrades, so they can upgrade their towers all the way up to Ballista Tower eventually. Got the upgrade to convert enemy buildings, so actually converted a enemy town center, which should be a good help for getting villages up to the front. Actually has a lot more stone than blue. Like, look at the stone over here versus the stone over here. This can make a huge difference, actually, when it comes to pushing in all these huge towers here. The towers for Choson actually have extra range as sort of a civ bonus. So yeah, that's actually going to make a huge difference when you're pushing. It means that these towers can start to pressure these towers really easily, regardless of what the Carthaginians try to set up there, really. And conscription, getting the plow. Conscription is exactly what you think it is. You know, it basically lets your units train quicker, just like in AoE 2. So now we are starting to see the move towards swordsmen. We see longsword, we see scale armor, we see metalworking. Blue had metalworking for a majority of the match at this point, so it is interesting to see Choson move in that direction now, basically. Will they be able to get all their swordsman upgrades in time before the big fighting starts? That's the question. Seems like right now Blue is just hiding behind his towers and hoping he gets enough phalangites to basically push the advantage, and maybe even get the Centurion upgrade, which would make them even stronger, make them even more legendary, really. Yeah. The Carthaginians have the advantage of having their academies work faster too, so I mean, it's going to be a bit easier on the Carthaginian side to be able to keep these spear-armed units coming out a bit quicker, certainly. Yep. So now we're starting to see some of these swordsmen appear in the Choson army, picking up bronze shield, again, metallurgy. Metallurgy is the final sort of storage pit armory upgrade for your melee units, whereas bronze shield is your first. Actually, is it? Yeah, there's basically multiple upgrades at the storage pit to upgrade your infantry's armor against arrows, and bronze shield is one of them, basically. What's going on here? Look at all these scouts. Well, at least it's calling them scouts. What are these? What are those things, man? That's a lot of cavalry there. Look at all that stuff. Ooh, that's a lot of cavalry there, man. Wow. I don't know if that's a bug with capture raids. I don't know if they're supposed to look like that. Something definitely seems a bit strange there. Yeah. But here comes the phalangites, though, picking up Centurion. Centurion is in. This is like the ultimate upgrade for these units. It's really expensive, though. It costs like a lot of food and gold to get, though. But it's totally worth it if you can get it. It makes the hoplite line that much stronger there. Swordsman coming in. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, look at these swordsmen trying to defend as best as they can. Oh, Centurion, this is going to make a huge... but no, it looks like Choson's getting the Legionary to try to combat it. It's going to be fully upgraded swordsman versus fully upgraded hoplite. Should be an interesting thing here. Yeah. Yeah, what makes these Centurions so strong is basically they're a prototype of what would become the Teutonic Knight in AoE 2. Strong overall armors, in particular it's melee armor, so it's actually really good for tanking lots of melee abuse for the most part. And similar to the Teutonic Knights, kind of a good way to deal with them is just pelt them with arrows or other ranged weapons like these towers. So that's the one thing that the Choson can do to deal with Centurions, is literally just have towers there to eat away at their HP, basically, before they become a serious threat. And we also have the priests to consider, because the priests will continue to start converting these Centurions. I wonder if the conversion becomes so much of a problem that it actually leads to Carthage having a real issue there, you know. Because if you can convert enough of these Centurions alongside your swordsmen, that could turn the tide of the melee. What's going on over here? We got scouts. Scouts are scouting, but they're not just scouting, they're going to be doing something more. He already knows about this. He already knows about this. He could see these mines. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at this. Look at that. This is going to be oh, no. Oh, my God. Look at that. That was a good scout attack there. Great, actually. Yeah. Good one, in fact. Yep. Very good, in fact. Yep, that's one way to gain an advantage. Alright, so I basically gutted that town center up there. How about over here? It's got a couple of centurions sieging away at this town center. Engaging in melee down here. Looks like Green might be able to win out the engagement on this side and start to push in this. Is he going to push, or is he just going to save face in his base? Yeah, he might just have to go back and deal with this. Like, look at the chaos here. Look at the carnage on this map. I mean, it's no wonder, you know. I mean, Carthage, Carnage, it sounds very similar, right? Carnage and Carthage. Literally Hannibal's victories in the Italy boot for the most part. Yeah, just about. I mean, town center, yeah, this is getting pretty serious here. Green really needs to figure out a defensive setup here that's going to keep these scouts from completely ravaging his economy. Like, look at how little food and gold he has up here. Blue is not struggling in res at all. In fact, he's able to keep making scouts. He's being able to make centurions. He's got a huge stockpile of gold to just keep going centurion into next week. This is looking a lot like a Carthaginian victory every moment. More raids. What can Choson do to actually deal with this? I mean, he's going to try to get some miners up here on this town center. I just don't know where you go from here. I mean, the thing about scouts is if this is literally, yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, I mean, this is really, really serious. Absolutely serious. Even taking out things over here with just one straggler, yeah, this is sort of the serious nature of Return of Rome. Like, you could have, like, one unit over there that could take out multiple villagers if you're not careful. It's, like, really merciless when it comes to making sure you can set up a proper defense. Battle Axe. What? Oh, wow. Axeman this late into the game, that's a sign of desperation from Choson. If he's getting his clubman axeman line this late into the game to defend, that shows you how impactful these scouts are to the fight, you know. Because axemen should be obsolete by now, but the fact that he has to rely on such a trashy unit this late into the Iron Age just shows you how bad he's being ravaged right now. That speaks volumes of where his resource counts. I mean, like, he's not recovering at all. If he loses a large part of his swordsman army here, he's done for. You know, he needs to keep these swordsmen coming out. You know, if he doesn't, might have some real problems here, really. I mean, let's look at the grander scheme of the base. I mean, this is what it looks like overall, and then you look at Blue's base. He's got a fairly good offensive push here all the way over here, really. I mean, he's doing great. Picking up, adding more academies in. These things are going to train super fast with the Carthaginian bonus. Just looking really good right now. I mean, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I mean, seriously, this is a really bad situation to be the Chosen right now. And they're even out of all that stone that they were stockpiling before to get these towers up, so it's not like they can push any more forward with towers unless... Do they have any stone left or anything like that? I don't know. I don't see, actually. Do they have any stone? Because if they don't have any stone... What's this? Oh, that's stone, so they do have some more stone. That's good. I was wondering what that was before. Is that gold or stone? Yeah. They got some stone here, too. Yeah, scouts... See, this is going to keep becoming a problem. This is going to be a huge detriment right here. I mean, he's going to be forced to wall up with the town center and some walling there. I mean, now this is being ravaged. This is... If you can't get a hold on the scout spamming here, you're going to be done for. You're actually toast. You're cooked. You're cooked if you can't do anything about that. It's just not looking great for you. And now the wall of Centurions is plowing in like a Spartan phalanx almost. I mean, this is really harsh situation to find yourself in. Yeah, really it is. You never want to find yourself in this instance, you know. Yep, scouts completely ravaging that side of the map. It reminds me a lot about regular Age of Empires 2 when people start spamming hussars this late into the game into people's bases, pretty much. And it becomes a total, like, bloodbath to all the villagers on the wrong side of the TC, basically. Yeah, it really is. Really, it is. Lamau, wave 3. Oh, Lamau is right. Yeah, well, good fight, though. GG on both sides. I definitely give you all an E for effort on that one, you know. I mean, I liked the idea of the priest at the start, but he just wasn't able to keep that snowball going enough, though. He needed something early on like the swordsman to just keep the push going. He just did not have it. He just went in with the priests, and the priests were not able to hold the line, obviously, because they're well priests. You know, they go to their little temple and they pray and they do ceremonies. They're not meant to be combat soldiers. So, yeah, there you go. All right, so let's look at some of these stats, if you don't mind. So if we got, this is just the general score. I mean, obviously it looks like blue was looking pretty good for the most part this whole match. That's not a lie at all. I mean, in terms of military, it was sort of even Steven around here for a while, and then just blue took off with the Centurions and like, woo, 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 like that. In terms of economy, blue just always had the advantage, it looks like, mainly due to some good raids there, I think, early on in general. Especially that one with the bowman and inside the gold mine. That was like a really serious raid with just regular bowmen pulling that one off. Tech tree-wise, blue was researching stuff much faster than green was, you know. Blue had metalworking as soon as the Bronze Age. Green didn't even get metalworking until the Iron Age, so like a whole age later, just to give you some perspective there. And that just comes down to all these factors, like getting raided, losing those resources, those vill counts, that all snowballs into more serious issues. Yeah, and here's the society post-game stuff here. I mean, it's kind of funny they have castles here. Like, there's no castles in Return of Rome. You kidding me? What's that doing there? And obviously you're not going to have trade units. Yeah, same thing like I said at the intro. I mean, I don't think Carthage is going to get a big navy in the middle of the desert. That's just not going to happen. So, yep. Good game, though. So I hope you all enjoyed it with me. Hopefully we get some more recordings in the coming weeks so I can keep casting these for you, alright? Sign off now. See you later and have some fun watching the one I did last week if you haven't already. So GG, well played.